I think you said things at Harris High were racially pretty good. The racial relations were fairly good. You had a fairly equitable distribution of diversity at the school, and I guess on the USC football team too. But some issues, some black-white issues there, right?
Yeah, I mean, and the biggest issue I think would have been whether they were always playing the best talent, whether they were always playing the person who should have actually won the job. We had many ball players drafted off the practice field at USC, and that still continues today. I mean, literally drafted off the practice field.
Guys who never got a chance to play.
Guys who never got a chance to play. And back then, there was a lot of scholarships, so there was a lot of stockpiling of talent.
You could do that back then.
Exactly. You have 100,
110 guys.
Yeah, so every practice was very
no limits. There's 85 now.
Every practice was competitive.
Plus you got LA. I mean, that's a huge motherload of talent anyway.
And everybody felt that they deserved to play. If you got a scholarship to USC, you felt you had to deserve to play.
Which happens anyway. But if black guys think there's a racial component to it, they're going to complain.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And with some justification, because you could clearly see the difference between the two athletes that might have been
and that was going on in the NBA.
That might have been competing for that spot. So there was some of that going on, and that's what caused most of the strife that existed, or contention that existed between the players. The other part was just recognizing that LA and California were no different than the larger society, is that most of the athletes on campus, most of the African American athletes on campus were there because of sports. Outside of that, there weren't that many in the general population. So there were all those things that were going on to say, well, it's still a colonized kind of a situation that's advancing itself, but it's advancing itself in a way that we're still getting a certain amount here, a certain amount there, and we're not going to overdo this in any stretch of the imagination. While the push was still on, that there's more coming, there's better coming, and we're going to need more opportunities. I think there's always a little bit of a push and a slowdown, that kind of be happy with what you got right now.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a few more years for you guys to move to another level.